Here we are, at the end of the year, and it's time to wrap up the finances for the year. Let's check out where my net worth is sitting to finish off 2024. If you want to know extra info about why I calculate the assets I do in my net worth and whatnot, it's mentioned in the first episode in this series. There are 9 assets in total and 5 liabilities I consider for the sake of this series. Now, let's start with the juicy stuff, the assets. Asset 1, cash. This sits at $53,803.76. Bro fell off for real. If you saw my last 2 net worth videos, you'd note that my cash has come way down. It was around $150,000 to $160,000 last time. Why is this? Because I have now paid down my down payment part of my loan. There goes about $117,500. Poof, gone like magic. Oh well, I now officially control my land, so that's fine. Well, the bank owns it technically because I owe them money via a loan, but that first huge step is now done with. Now this cash will sit in an offset account which reduces the interest payments on my loan. I can go into the logistics of this another time, but just know for now that this is a very smart move. Asset 2, stonks, sitting at $11,294.20, up a bit from last month. I've had a bit of extra luck with my longer term account and swing trading portfolio. The reason this amount doesn't move much is because I don't play with a whole lot of money, / I don't have a whole heap invested. My main focus is on real estate for now, and it will continue to be so in 2025 as well. Asset 3, crypto. This is now at $2,114.39. What can I say? The Bitcoin rally has really carried this, despite the fact that there is barely any money in this compared to my other assets. Asset 4, sports betting / punting, sitting at $609.49. I haven't made any bets in a few weeks. I lost $50-ish on the cricket. I was set to lose $110 on Australia, but when I was at the gym one Saturday night, I made a spontaneous 200 bet on India live. Like this was on the same sort of match, so I had 2 pending bets on the same game. I had 1 bet for each side, and that won me $60. But I still lost my $110 Australia bet, so I lost $50-ish overall. That $200 India bet was basically to hedge my losses because I knew Australia was going to lose at that point, so I just put on a good chunk of money to sort of offset some of the losses. Not really sure why I didn't bet more, but I guess that's just my nature not to gamble too much. Well, besides on the election. But other than this cricket bet, I haven't gambled since. I don't like leaving gambling on a low, like leaving it for a few months. Like I don't like leaving on a low or a loss. But considering my election bets, I'm still way up on my sports betting. If you're wondering where the thousands I won from the election went, I withdrew it. No chance was I going to leave it in my sports betting account where I'd get tempted to use it / where it doesn't earn / reduced interest like it would in a bank account. Asset 5, superannuation / my retirement fund. Superannuation is what we call retirement funds here in Australia. This is sitting at $62,529.28. 80% of my fund is invested in the US market, 20% in the Aussie market. And since the market has rallied recently, so has my retirement fund account. Asset 6, real estate. For now, and about another year, this refers to my block of land. This is valued at $375,000. In the last 2 net worth videos, my equity was $66,250, which comprised of a $50,000 valuation increase and $16,250 that I had already paid. Well, the $50,000 valuation increase is included in this $375,000 figure, and the $16,250 is shown as a reduction in my loan amount in the liabilities section. So for now, my real estate is easy to calculate. It's simply the value of my land, which is $375,000. Keep in mind, this is just the land. There is no house in this. So imagine the valuation once the house is eventually built. Asset 7, business, which is this brand. I'm going to keep the value at $500 for now. No real reason to change it, really. Asset 8, miscellaneous items, which includes the random stuff that I could sell that I own under my name. Now, this figure has gone up to $3,800, which is higher than the $3,500 figure I used in the prior two videos. Why? Because now I have an extra fancy watch I could sell for a higher value. It's a fake Rolex. Mum got it for me. She was on holiday earlier this year with my sister, and because she's Filipino, that means she loves buying random shit when she's overseas. So, I got a fake watch. Not sure how you could tell the difference. Maybe I just spoiled my fancy pants clout and I could have gotten away with a fake Rolex. I could have pretended it was real, but The point is, the value of the random stuff I own in my name has now gone up. Asset 9, my car value. So the value for asset 8 went up, but now in exchange, the value of asset 9 has gone down. As my car gets older and more worn out, its value goes down. So I've revalued my car down by $400. Items went up by $300, car went down by $400. Why not make the valuation change the same? Because shut up.
Because shut up.
So that's all the assets calculated. The grand total of all these assets is $517,051.13. A huge increase from last time, but it's purely because of the fact that the full value of the land is now mine. More than $500,000 in assets. Wild, hey? But this is not what your net worth is. You still have to consider the liabilities. Oh my god, liabilities. Oh my god, ick. It gives me the ick. So let's talk about the not fun stuff. The liabilities. The future economic outflows. Liability 1, credit card. If you're new here, I don't have a credit card, but I include it anyway since most net worth videos will have this. So I mention this to also show what the breakdown of my finances entail. No credit card here. There are some use cases for it here in Australia. I know in the United States it helps build your credit score, I think, but we don't have that here. You can use your credit card to pay off items and then pay off the credit card balance with future cash money. So your money earns more interest / reduces interest in an offset account in the meantime, or you could use that money to invest in something else in the meantime, like stocks or a business asset. There are cases like this you can use it for, but me personally, at this point in time, it's not really a viable strategy. Liability 2, car loan. Again, common in net worth videos, but not here. I paid my car outright. It was about $13,100-ish back in 2021. So $0 for my car loan, $0 for my credit card loan. Liability 3, student debt. If only this was blank too. My student debt is $42,296.55. Did I make a repayment to this since the last update? No. So, why has this gone down? The balance of my student debt has gone down by $2,281.50 since the last update. Why? Because the Australian government has recently changed the way they index your student debt. Index is just their way of saying interest. They say, oh, student debt is an interest-free debt. I think it's designed to sucker in impressionable 18-year-olds into going to uni. And hey, I fell for it too. I mean, I kind of did know about indexing the debt when I was 18, but it sounded a lot less scary than this debt accumulates interest. And if I kind of fell for it, no doubt countless others did too. Like, obviously, I was still going to go to uni and still take on student debt because there was no way I was going to be able to pay my way through uni, especially with the little ambition I did have back when I was a teenager and early 20s. So the student debt gets valued up by the CPI as at 30th of June each year. Well, recently the government has changed that. Now it's either the lower of the CPI or the wage price index. So basically, they're just reducing the amount they increase the debt by. Whichever is the lower figure, that's the percentage it goes up by. They've also decided to backdate this too. So in the past couple of years, they've changed the way they increase the student debt and basically changed the interest amount on that. And now they've given me a credit for those past 2 years. So thanks to this, my student debt has gone down by more than $2,000 without me doing anything at all. Personally, I'm not a fan. There's other stuff they can do to relieve cost of living pressures like reducing red tape, cutting immigration, cutting government spending on the NDIS specifically, changing their energy policy, removing fuel excise tax, and a bunch of other shit that's not the point of this video. Not to mention, it could open the floodgates for more people whinging about student debts. Like, you signed up for this. I wonder if I can get my home loan forgiven. But I'll stop before I go on a tangent. But I mean, hey, I can't be too mad. After all, I did end up more than $2,000 better off. So, liability 3, student debt, is now at $42,296.55. Liability 4, ATO debt slash tax debt, sitting at $7,566.67. Basically, I don't pay as much tax as I should each payslip from the wagey job, which is fine because it means I can invest that money throughout the year, then just pay the tax office back, rather than having to wait for that money come tax time. And also, because of my student debt, I owe more than the average person come tax time, since that's how student debt repayments work here in Australia. You repay the minimum on your student debt back when you do your taxes. So I'll pay this at some stage in March of 2025, because if I pay it off now, then, well, that money could be used in my offset account in the meantime, so it's more financially savvy to pay this off later as opposed to right now. Liability 5, real estate loan. I have $195,000 owing. For the first time in my life, I have a mortgage. Yay? So, $195,000 owing. This will increase in a few months' time when parts of my actual house loan start coming in. But for now, we have $195,000 owing on this. Now, in prior videos, I mentioned how I intended on paying this down as fast as possible, but I did some very rough maths as well as speaking to the bank itself who lent me this loan, and they said just leave money in an offset account. And well, they're right. My 2025 goals video will come out after this one, and in that video I mentioned how I plan on paying down this loan as fast as possible. Well, abort mission. Instead, just stockpile money in the offset account. It serves the same purpose. Yes, the overall balance doesn't decrease, but from a net worth standpoint, it doesn't change much. And in terms of equity for property too, well, yeah, the loan balance will be higher than intended, but I'd also have way more savings than intended. So the down payment for the next property would still work all the same. But points for another video. Just know that pouring money into my offset account while my loan balance is still smaller achieves the same function as what I originally had planned. So that's all for liabilities, and these total $244,863.22, a much larger liability amount than we had in the last update. The student debt went down, but we had a big value pop into the home loan section. So adding my assets, taking away my liabilities, that leaves me with $272,187.91. My net worth, as at December of 2024, is $272,187.91. For some, this is really high. For those who started working harder at an earlier age, or smarter, or those who are much more privileged than I am, this may not be that much. And it doesn't feel like I have a net worth this large either. Like, I am more in tune with the fact that I'm an accountant gym rat rather than someone who has over $250,000 in their net worth at the age of 28. People care more about your career and your appearance than they do about your net worth, generally speaking. And it's important to not attach your self-worth to your net worth. It's kind of easy to say coming from someone who's definitely not struggling, but lately I've realized that most people don't really care. There are other stats in the game of life to be concerned with. I'll talk about that night that changed it all in an upcoming video, and you'll know my recent videos have been less grind-focused. I will still continue to grind, of course, but I'll be doing way more social shit. So that'll cut into my money, investments, brand, aesthetic stats, since that's money I'm spending on junk and time away from the charts, the editing studio, my car. My editing studio is my car for anyone who doesn't know, and the gym. But it'll be worth it. and I'll explain why in a future video. But if your goal is to chase your net worth, when does it end? Like, are you trying to be the richest person ever? Why? There's always someone who had a better hand that they were dealt in life, and you'd have to compete with that. There are some talentless teenagers out there who got famous due to some crap they posted on social media who make way more than I do. I can't compete with that. Is your goal just to be well above average in terms of net worth? Well, a net worth of $0 is still well above average, considering how indebted many people are. Yes, one of my money stack goals is increasing my net worth, but I'm not doing anything in my life that has the sole focus of increasing my net worth. I'm working 2 jobs to get into real estate ASAP in my country. It just so happens that the extra money from that increases my net worth. My goal is my own home and renting out rooms for some extra coin. The larger land size/house size happens to increase my net worth, but it also means I have my forever home very early on in my life. It's also a good boost to your SMV. Yeah, hey ladies, I have a 4-bedroom house in a nice suburb. How about that other guy you're talking to? I'll mention SMV and whatnot in upcoming videos in my Is Dating Worth It series. It just so happens that having a larger plot of land increases your assets, and extra bedrooms increases cash flow, which increases your net worth. And I mean, that hasn't even started yet. So just imagine what the net worth is going to be once that's underway. Investing is a fun hobby for me. Again, just so happens it increases my net worth. Making YouTube videos is a fun outlet for me. It just so happens it probably increases my net worth. I don't know, I spend more on this channel than what it brings in, but like any business, you got to run a loss early, hopefully to make profits in the future. I see myself, eventually, as a CPA, landlord, stock trader, YouTuber, gym rat. Having a stable career is always good, something to give you purpose, as well as income stability. Landlord is the most prestigious title one can have here in Australia, but again, income stability also plays a part in that. Stock trading is fun. It just so happens you make money from it, if you're good at it. YouTube is fun. It's a nice outlet and gives me something productive to do. And being a gym rat is fun. The attention you get, mostly from dudes, is pretty flattering. We love having our egos fed. But I don't see myself as dude with a $250,000 net worth. Yeah, it's nice, but if that's your goal, you'd compromise other parts of your life. Oh, I can't go to this party. It'll cost me money giving a gift and consume time that could be spent working. Me going to a party doesn't change the fact that I'm still an accountant or a gym rat. Yeah, the calories consumed doesn't help, but it doesn't totally negate my gym rat status. Whereas if your sole focus was increasing your net worth, you'd avoid heaps of life events, just so you can slightly inch your net worth up. The difference between a net worth of $65,000 and $70,000 is not worth sacrificing key social events in your life. My ultimate point is, yes, my net worth is going up, but that's a byproduct of the other goals I have. Don't fret too much about your net worth, it's just a number. You have young retired people living in cheap countries with a smaller net worth than mine, and they are living it up, they are loving life. Conversely, you have people stressed to their eyeballs who hate their life, who have a net worth 5 times as much as mine. There's more to life, but I'm sharing this for transparency's sake. Either way, as for my personal net worth, this number will continue to increase as I continue to earn money, my investments increase in value, my real estate increases in value, and as I pay down my liabilities. So that's where we wrap in 2024. A total asset pool of $517,051.13, a liability pool of $244,863.22, and a net worth of $272,187.91. How is your financial position closing to end 2024? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. That is all.